Hello everyone, this is the Cajun Gaming Guild, Little Giant coming to you today, and today we are going to start a new little playthrough slash, I'm going to introduce you to a new game. If you have not tried this before, it's not super old, okay? Since the last time I played it, well, I've played it just to kind of refresh my memory, but before that, this game here is probably one of the best clicker games I have ever played in my entire life. It is fun, all right? But they have changed it since the last time I played it. And now you can actually use your keyboard to click instead of your mouse. And you can just hold down your keyboard and it'll give you like every second you'll click or however long it works. So if you want to click with your mouse, it's way faster, all right? So I just want to say that in advance. But for the purposes of this little introductory video, I'm probably just going to use the keyboard just because it's a lot easier for me while I talk to you guys, etc., etc. But if you have not seen this game, you're going to be blown away at how big this game is. It's not like any other clicker game you've ever played. Super duper fun. It's definitely a game in its own league, all right? There is so much replayability in this game, it'll blow your mind, all right? So if you have not seen it, you might want to watch this video. It's probably one of, like I say, one of the best, if not the best game I've ever played in this genre of game, okay? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start a new game, and I will try and explain things to you as we go, okay? I have tutorials shut off. So right now, my guy, I have one guy. He's looking pretty lonely. He's got a tree over here to hang out with. Nice little river going on with a bridge that he built all on his own. Man, he's slick. I don't know. He's pretty impressive to me. And he's also the militia by the looks because you end up starting with one militia unit. Okay. I will explain everything in detail as we go. But for now, what you need to know is this. You are a civilization, okay? And in order to grow your civilization, you need to feed it, okay? So if you click on the yin and the yang thing here, that is to signify your balance, okay? I'm not signifies balance, and I get that. So this top upper part, this yellow wheat part, okay, because it's a picture of wheat, means every time you click on this, you're going to gain 3 wheat. So watch. When I click on it, I gained 3 wheat. My dude's running off to the fields and he's going to gain some wheat. That graphic right there means absolutely nothing. Okay, it does nothing. It's just to show you what you were doing. That's it. But you gain it instantly when you click. Okay, so and I can keep gaining and keep gaining and keep gaining. And when you get to 30 foods, okay, current foods 15 out of 30, that is the capacity. And when you go above capacity, you gain a new population. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Once we get to 30, bam, we have 2 people now. Another guy just spawned right in. That miraculous birth, my friends, okay? So that's how that works. Now, the more people you have, the more drain on your wheat that's going to happen. Right now, there is no drain on my wheat, okay? They're handling it enough with 2 people. They can go scavenge enough that they for what they need to eat. If you had 10 people though, you're going to start seeing a little negative down below here saying negative -0.1 wheat per second, and meaning this is going to start draining automatically, and if you let it get to 0, you're going to start losing people until it balances itself, okay? So you want to be careful for that. You never want that to happen if you can help it, because the more deaths, and I'll explain why death is not good later on in this run through. So also, as I gained a population, I had free space. I have housing. Every time that you gain a population, so I'll gain another one, bam, my free space goes down. And once you get to 0, well, what's going to happen after that? It sucks, but you're going to not be able to create more people. In a little bit, once I increase my tech, you'll be able to actually create more people But your free space, since it's at 0, you will create vagabonds, all right? You'll create bums, homeless people in your neighborhood that will not really be good for your neighborhood, and they will increase your risk of bad things happening to you. So you always want to make sure that the balance is there, that you have enough housing for the amount of people that you have. Okay, well, how do you build houses? There's nowhere here to build houses. If you look at the top left of your screen, there is a technology up there. It doesn't really say that, but if you played the tutorial, it would tell you right away. You're going to click here, and there's a tech tree. And it only goes so far for your era, all right? Right now, in the first initial playthrough, you can only go so far. And it's right to here, level 7. Okay, and it's going to unlock all this stuff if you know how to play the game, or if not, the tutorial will teach you how to play. You should be able to get all of this unlocked by the time you get to this final question mark here, which is blocked by a red exclamation point. Okay, I will explain those as we get to them. But these technologies are super important for your civilization to grow, and if you don't do these, you will get nowhere. So right now, if I was to do this, fire allows construction of hut housing, okay? It cost me 1 research point. So we're going to click OK. I gained 0.6 research points a second, so it took me hardly any time at all to research it, and now it's unlocked. We'll click on that. And now if you look down here, on the right-hand side of the yin-yang symbol, okay, the bottom part, that is where you're going to be able to build your stuff, and there is a ton of stuff to build, okay? So we're going to click on the hut, which is going to increase my capacity by 7 people each hut that I build, all right? Now, I do not gain any wood every second. Unless well, again, you're going to click on this. As fast as you can click, the faster you gain wood. You're only going to gain 1 wood per click, though, so be aware of that. Once we gain 30, we gain a new house for 7 spaces. All right? And again, now I could build more people. Because the more people you have, the faster your research points go up, which is why you want more people. We're going to start a new research. We're going to go ahead and we're going to unlock stone tools, which is going to give us +7 food every click and +3 wood every click. Very handy, all right? So we're going to go ahead and do that, and you can see it's not taking too long. But while we're waiting for that, I'm just going to hold down my S button, which is going to click for me automatically, all right, as you can see. And we're just going to gain some huts, okay? I don't really care how many for now, but I'm going to show you that it does matter how many huts, okay? We're going to click on this tech. We gain stone tools. We're going to unlock a new one, Warrior Code. This will unlock spearman units, all right? Yes, you started with militia at the start, but you will be able to use these spearman units, which are way stronger than militia, all right? And these will help you to defeat crises on the map, okay? Crises on the map, or however you want to pronounce that. We'll click on that. This one's going to take a little longer, though, because it requires a lot more research points, and since we're only gaining 0.7 a second, it's going to take a minute and some seconds, and it shows you there if you hover over it with your mouse how long it takes. While that's happening, we're going to gain some more houses because I want to show you something. Once you get to a certain point of free space based off of your population, well, it's just like in the real world. If you have an abandoned building in your town or village or city, or the more that you have, well, people start to go in there, and sometimes it's kids, teenagers, people who'd have nothing, and they start trouble, right? And they can light that house on fire. Pyromaniacs. That's a perfect place for them to go. And exactly like that in this game, the more free space that you get. Right now it turned red because I have too much versus my population, and you'll see here that I have a fire risk now. I have a 1% chance in the next minute to start a fire, which would cause a problem, and that I would have to defeat using my men, my soldiers, my militia, whatever I have. So you want to make sure you never have too much free space if you can help it. There's going to be times when it's going to happen, but just increase your population a bit and that will go away. right? And now you'll notice I'm gaining 1 wheat per second, okay? So I'm automatically gaining wheat without clicking a button or anything. That's based off of free workers, and I guess I gotta explain free workers. So we're gonna, before I do though, I'm going to finish off the warrior code. Now I can make spearmen, and I'm going to select a new technology. Okay, and I want to explain this just a little bit more before I go into the worker thing that I was going to explain to you. So we can go down the main path all day long. You will always be able to do this. And everything on the main path after the warrior's code is random, all right? It may not be herding here. It could be copper here. It could be, there's a whole bunch of stuff locked here. You can see it could be one of these. And these can all be randomized. This one here behind this question mark up here could be down here where this question mark is. You don't know until you unlock these padlocks, okay? And these are what you call secrets in the game, all right? So secrets can be unlocked using keys that you can gain after the first playthrough. You will be able to have an option to gain some of these keys different ways, and you're going to want to get these as fast as you can, and you'll see why, because the first little playthrough, these padlocks are easily unlocked, okay? All I have to do is one quest, and this one goes away. And quests are easy to do, and I'll show you here in a minute that they are super easy to do. This, I need a population of 100, easy to do. All right, so these will go away really fast, but once you get into the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth eras, these are way harder to unlock, and you're going to need keys sometimes to get through to them, hoping that the technology behind them will allow you to unlock the other padlocks that are available, all right? Because sometimes you need the specific techs in order to unlock the padlocks. And that's what makes it difficult. So if you have some of these keys, sometimes it can get you out of a sticky situation quick. All right. So now in saying that, we're going to continue building our tech tree here. I'm going to go up here and we're going to do the copper next. Okay, it's going to allow the construction of the forest hut and the barracks workshop. Okay, and that will give me some bonuses, and it's going to give me a hero. Heroes are awesome in this game. I will explain those as we go. But before I do, this is going to take like 3 minutes. I'm going to explain workers. So if you hover over your population here, it shows you have the number of people living in your civilization and your next worker at 47. Down below here it pops up, okay? So at 47 pop, I'm going to get another worker, so meaning I'll have 2 workers then. Each worker that is doing nothing will give you +1 wheat per second, okay? And you can see that if you hover over the worker. It says base value 1, and it shows each free worker basic food gathering is 1 per second. All right. So, and that's what you want. You need this. You need free workers in order for this number to keep going up. All right. Because right now it's going 0.05 per second downwards. And if you let it get to 0, well, you're going to lose men. So I'm going to increase that number up quite a bit so that I don't lose any population. All right. I did that by clicking. And the next time I have a worker, that number will go up +1 again, so it might be in the positive for a few minutes until I gain more population to bring it down below the negatives again, all right? And that's the game of balance that you're going to be playing throughout this whole game. What buildings are you going to be building in order to make sure that this side is balanced, okay? This left side is always going to have to be balanced by the right side. And if you have a number too large on either side, you can die. All right, so you have to be very aware of that. So right now we need a spearman. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create him, and I'm holding down my S button to get wood 4 per click, because I do not gain wood every second like I do wheat. And I'm not gaining wheat, I'm losing wheat right now, but you will gain wheat later. So I have a spearman now, and that's going to allow me to go out and do quests now. All right. So if you click over here on the left, there's a little 2 swords crossed. We can click there. It's going to open up your map. The very first playthrough, you have no say on your map, what it looks like, where you start out. It's always the same every game. Starting on your second playthrough, though, you will be able to generate any map that you want. It's randomized again, but you can regenerate it over 100 times if you want, and it's free to do. And then you can start wherever you feel your gameplay style is going to fit, and you can start there, and you'll know what it looks like around you and everything. But then it will be covered in a fog of war, and there will be a bunch of random events placed all over this map that you will not be able to see unless you explore. So I could click here in this fog of war, and I could use a spearman, and if you look, there's a little picture of a spear there, and I have one spearman available. To go there, it'll take 40 seconds, and I will explore that tile and all the tiles touching it, okay? And it will give me back my spearman once that's finished, but while that 40 seconds is happening, I will lose the spearman. I will use the ability to use him, all right? When it comes to crises and fighting crises, you need men to win those crises. But right now I have 0% chance of a crisis. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use my only guy, and he's going to go for 40 seconds. At the top of my screen, you can see it's counting down. It shows you a nice little white bar filling up. Once that's filled, I will have explored that area. And while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and continue building our food and our population. Okay, see how fast the rice is going down now? The more population you have, the faster it goes down. So you want to be careful. So at 43, I should gain, or what was it, 47, you're going to gain another one. Bam, I have 2 workers now, which decreased my number a little bit because it gained me +1 again for my extra population, or my extra worker. Oh shit. So, that's bad news. The game is paused, so a crisis did happen. Why did a crisis happen? Okay, well, my bad. Claiming a territory? I didn't think I was claiming a territory. I sent that guy out to explore, I thought. That's very strange. I'm exploring, I'm not claiming territory. So normally when you claim territory, yes, there is a chance that you can start a crisis, but I'm not. And you guys can see that I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is exploring. So that's very strange. And by exploring, you never have a percentage chance. That's very, very weird. So this is bad, but it's not horrible because my spearman just came back. So now I have him back, okay? Now, how these crises work. So in a sense, this is not a bad thing that this happened, okay? So what happens here, my friends, is this. There is a little triangle that's pointing downwards like a ticker, and it says 1 minute and 28 seconds. So it's going to take 1 minute and 28 seconds for this ticker to go from right to the left on this bar. As it passes by these pictures on the way, those specific things will happen. So if I allow it to get to here, it'll destroy one of my houses. Not the end of the world. Houses are 2 seconds to build. All right, with a little bit of wood, you can build a new house. Not a big deal, but sometimes these can be filled with killing your population. You can lose workshops. You can lose a whole bunch of different stuff, right? So you want to be careful that you take care of these problems quickly, all right? So to defeat these barbarians, well, you use your men. If I use my militia, they do 1 damage, 1 out of 1 damage, 1 minimum, 1 max. Or if I use my spearmen, they can do 1 or 2 minimum, 3 max. And you'll notice that the red bar here, fills up 3/4 of the way with white with 1 damage. Okay, meaning that bar is about 1.5 in length, damage wise. You can't really tell. You don't know a number. You can just tell by how much it fills up by clicking this. If I was to click this button, 3/4 of that bar is done. All right, meaning I almost beat them. All right, and then I could just click this to finish it off. Well, why would I waste my militia guy though? I might need him for another crisis here in a few minutes, and it takes time to regenerate them. So my spearmen, on the other hand, will completely destroy them with 1 hit because I do 2 to 3 damage, and that bar is only 1.5. So it'll be an easy victory. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. Bam, done. Okay, now I'm going to go create that spearman all over again, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to click the button and get a new spearman, which takes time as well, but not as much time as it takes to get a new militia guy. All right, so you're better off to do stuff that you can control than not control. All right, so now we have a bunch of different things that I have explained to you. Right off the bat, we're going to get another one of these going, okay, a new tech going, and you'll see that I did a quest. I explored a piece of land. That was a quest, and now that I can click on this and get rid of it, and now that unlocks the pickaxe and money. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on, I could click on pickaxe, and once pickaxe is done, click up here and finish it and collect my tech and then choose a new one. Or if you want, you can click on money and it'll do pickaxe first. Once pickaxe is done, it'll just appear for a second, tell you that it's done, and continue on and do money until it's finished. So it's just like queuing up, and it means you don't have to focus as much on it. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. We're going to let that happen. I'm going to pause the game though because I want to explain a few more things. We're going to open up our map. We explored those areas, okay, so that's going to explore a bunch of more of our map, and we are going to keep our spearmen for now. I don't really have to do too much more. This map is not going to be used very much for this run through, and I'll explain that here in a little while. It's because it's just not necessary the first playthrough. Later on though, it will be used a lot. You're gonna, once you get like 20 playthroughs in, you might clear this entire map just for shits and giggles. And because the more that you clear, the more meta currency you're going to gain. All right, so you're going to want to do this, but the first map, your technology is not strong enough to do much anyway, so there's no point in doing much. I might do a little bit more, but it's not going to be much more than what you see right there. But we did gain a new hero by unlocking a tech earlier, so we're going to click on this guy. Okay, so click on this, and we're going to go up to this crown in the top right, and I'm going to explain heroes to you guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to collect our heroes, and they're both very similar to one another. They all have a level. Heroes all have a level. And levels of heroes are based off of whatever technology level you're at right at the moment. And I'll go there and show you what I mean in a minute. But also around the outside edge, you'll notice they have a different pattern. All right. So this is like a small brownish pattern. This is like a thicker silver pattern. So this is an elite hero. And you can tell by looking to the right, it shows it right here, the information. The gray is elite. This is a common hero. Common obviously is not as good as elite. Now, what that means is at the top, you'll see it says damage 30%. That damage 30% is only affected by the hero's level most of the time, okay? There are a few exceptions. So that means between a common and an elite hero, you're going to notice that that doesn't change very much. It doesn't change at all right? What normally is affected by the elite thing, all right, is how many extra skills beyond that you're going to get, okay? Right now, all I would get is the cost of housing minus 10%, where this guy has two things beyond it, all right? So obviously the better heroes that you can get level-wise is going to increase numbers, and the more rare that you get is going to increase how many things are going to happen when you recruit that hero, okay? Right now I have these heroes, but they're not actually being used. So you have to drag this. So this is going to increase my food by +6 a second once I unlock my granary. And right now I do not have my granary unlocked, but I will very soon have it. So using this guy would be very helpful in getting food. This guy is just going to reduce the cost of making houses, which I already do not have a problem with anyway. So I don't really care about that. I'm going to use the guy that's going to give me extra food once I unlock granaries. All right, so that's what I'm going to be working for right away. Now, you'll notice I can build some new buildings, and that was unlocked by the last tech. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to unlock the forest hut. And while that is being unlocked, because now I am gaining wood per second without clicking, I'm going to go back to my tech and show you what I mean by levels. So how this works, guys, is the furthest along you are in the track is what's going to determine your level. So on the bottom, you'll see it says level 2, level 3, level 4. Right now, it's at level 5. Why? Is because I have copper unlocked. And copper is a level 5 tech. All right. So once I get pickaxe done and money will be further along. It'll be level 6. Any hero I get after that point will be level 6 or above. Okay, you can get stuff above 6, but you won't get anything lower than 6. It's always going to be at least the level that you're at. All right. So that's how your level is determined. So the best I can get in this run through is going to be level 7s. And I mean, I might get a level 8 or 9 if I get really lucky, but it's rare that you do that, all right? And that's always based off of your tech, okay? There is one exception to that rule, all right? The exception to that rule is this. If you go on your map and you start unlocking things, there's going to be creatures, mammoths and cannibals and barbarian camps and stuff like that all over the place, and they are all going to also have a level, all right? That level increases as your level increases. And there's always going to be some that are even to you, there's going to be some that are a little harder than you, and there's going to be some that are super hard versus you, all right? Those are going to be very difficult to beat. But if I just, like right now, let's say I'm level 5 or 6, I can't remember what I just said. I think I'm level 5. If I was to go destroy a level 7, you have a chance of getting a hero by doing that. And if you get a hero, it's going to be a level 7 hero right off the bat, which is a bonus because all I can get right now is level 5 heroes based off my technology. You understand what I'm saying? So that is a way you can get higher level heroes later on, all right? So now we're going to go back here. I'm going to speed up the process of making my wood workshop, and this is going to unlock my first workshop. Okay, so to my left here, you're going to see a bunch of empty slots, I guess, all right? And one of them has a piece of lumber in it, and the other ones are all empty. These are from 1 to 9. These are hotkeys that you will be able to use these skills with later on once they're all unlocked. And those are only usable on your numpad key, or you can click on them with your mouse if you want, all right? And you'll see if I hover over it, what this would do, it would give me 240 wood instantly, okay? And I have one charge there, and I have a possibility of in 1 minute and 58 seconds, it'll refresh a new charge. So I'll have 2 there. And then I can get up to 3 charges and leave them there and use them whenever I see fit. The start of the game, you're not really going to use these too much because everything is relatively slowly paced, so you can learn the game, and you're going to be controlling everything with your clicking. Doing this, all this would do right now would gain me 8 huts instantly. Why? Because right now I am making huts with wood at 30 a pop. It would add 240 instantly, making 8 huts, if you understand what I mean. It just gives you the wood immediately, and it creates whatever you're creating with that material. So if I was creating something out of stone and hit this button, nothing would happen. Why? Is because these are created with wood, not stone. So you have to click the right button for whatever you're using. So if I was using something with metal, for instance, I would have to click the metal button to gain instant stuff here, all right? And I say instant stuff, if it costs you 2,000 wood to make a hut, for instance, or a building later on, well, this is only giving you 240. It's not going to give you one of them. It's just going to give you a percentage, right? It's going to fill up the bar 240, all right? And that's how that works, okay? Now, these can be shut off, okay? This forestry hut is also producing 2 wood a second, which is shown right here. So right now on the bottom bar, this is what is produced automatically. This is your auto click, all right? In any clicker game, you have an auto click. That is shown to you here. Right now, I'm auto clicking a negative 1.35 food, but I'm gaining +3 wood a second and +1 stone a second. Now, you do not gain the stone or the wood if nothing is being built. I could shut this construction off and nothing is going up on the right hand side. Why? Because I have nothing selected. So you don't gain wood if there's nothing, nowhere to put the wood. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not using it to build something, it goes nowhere. So, in saying that, we're going to go ahead and build the barracks next, though, because the barracks is super important. And I noticed that my tech is finished. All right, it finished off something, or actually, I probably just undid it by accident earlier when I was explaining something, because that whole time it should have been working and it was not working. Okay, so that's going to continue, and I apologize for that. I didn't realize I had done that. So these also, I wanted to explain one thing about these workshops. You will be able to have 9 of these sooner rather than later, and each one of these workshops requires one of your workers here, all right? If you do not have a worker to work your workshop, you won't actually be able to use it, and it will not do anything. All right, you'll see a little symbol showing need a worker here, and it will stay highlighted that it's on, but it's not actually doing anything. All right, so you can shut it off. Let's say I had my wood one here, and I had one next to it for stone, and I only had one worker and I need stone. Well, I can shut this one off. It gives me back the worker, and then I could turn on the stone one. You understand what I mean? So y'all, you can turn on and off workshops as you see fit, and oh shit, I'm starving. Darn. So I just lost some population. If you starve, you're going to lose men. All right, so you want to be careful for that. And I'm kind of glad I did, because I'm going to show you at the end of this run what happens when you lose too many people. I never lost too many people there, but you want to be aware that you can. Okay, so now we're going to build some more huts here. We're going to continue building huts because we're not like super high up over here on the right. And for now, we are going to show you one other thing. I built that barracks, okay? And barracks, if you hover over it, it says plus 50% to all of your units. And you require a worker in order to do that, all right? So now, a second ago, I had 2 workers. You guys just saw that, didn't you? Why do I not have 2 workers anymore, you may ask? Well, in order to have 2 workers, I showed you guys that earlier, I need 47 population. I lost a guy or 2 or 3, and it brought me below 47 population, and now I have only 1 worker, and he is being used in the lumber mill. So like I said, if I want to use the barracks, I have to use the worker in the barracks and not in the lumber mill. Or I can just gain 1 population, which is what I'm going to do. It'll only take a second to get there. Now I have 2 workers again. I'll be able to turn them both on. And now I can create 50% more units from my barracks. Okay, and you can't hover over some things when the game is paused, but now I can. So now I will be able to create another spearman. I should be able to, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do that because I want more men in case I get into trouble. I have more guys to fight them off, okay? And now I'll have another militiaman as well, okay? And now, that being all said and done, my food is going down a lot worse than it has been, all right? And it's going to get worse the more population I have. So you want to be very careful for that. So there is a way that we can fix that, okay? And that's going to be with the tech. As you unlock better tech, you'll be able to unlock like a granary, and you'll be able to unlock like a windmill. And so my free space is too high, and it's giving me a fire risk. So we're going to have to increase our population a bit, meaning our food is going to go down quicker now. So you have to be more aware of that now. Okay, I'm going to stop building huts for a bit, meaning my free space is not going to continually go up. I don't need it going up right now because I'm kind of waiting for this to be done, my tech, okay? Once I unlock my windmill, I believe it is, I will gain more food per tick, or it could be the granary that I unlock first. I can't remember, all right? And that's going to be coming soon. That's money. That has nothing to do with food, so that's not really going to help us, but in 44 seconds, I will be able to go choose the one that I do need, okay, down a different path. So that's what I'm waiting for. Now, is there other ways to fix this problem? Yes, there is. Do I need to do those in this run through? Not especially. This is not that bad. It just requires me to pay attention. That's all. And when you're recording videos and chatting and explaining, Sometimes you just get distracted, and that's why I allowed a few people to die earlier. But now that I have, it reminded me, keep an eye on that and don't let that happen again, okay? Because you don't want to lose too many men, all right? So this tech is almost done being researched. Once it is done, we're going to get rid of that. That's going to unlock my marketplace. So we're going to go ahead and build the marketplace. I'll let that go on by itself while we go here and select a new technology. So herding would allow for 3 wood per click. Agriculture is very good. That allows us to research dry storage and create farmland tiles, okay? Farmland tiles are hugely important in this game, all right? And we still cannot unlock this yet because we have not hit 100 population. So we're going to go ahead and get these 2 unlocked for now while we're getting our 100 population. All right, which means I'm going to have to watch this even more once I get to 100 because that'll be going down like 8. You know what I mean? Which is going to be way faster, and so it's going to require more of my focus. Okay, but that's going pretty fast up there right now. Once I get agriculture unlocked, we'll be in better shape because I'll be able to unlock that food producing building. I think it increases the storage amount, and the more storage that you can have, the easier it is to regulate this. Because if I could store 2,000 food right now, I could bring this number up to 1,999 and let it drain slowly, and it would take way longer to drain, and it allows me more time to focus on other things. You understand what I mean by that? So it's always better to have more storage room. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and speed up the marketplace. So as I'm clicking, one thing I don't think I explained yet is this. You're going to have click heat as well, and I don't believe I explained this yet. Once you start clicking, you'll see right now it says click heat 39. It means I've clicked 39 times before it was able to start dissipating all on its own. All right, it will burn off if you are not clicking anymore at a rate of -8 per second, but it means you have to stop clicking. And that's, if you're clicking and you get into trouble and you need to start clicking a lot, it's going to go up and up and up and up and up. And then once it's above 300, this will turn red. Okay. Once it turns red, your risk of problems will start to go up, and you don't want that happening. So you have to be aware of that. So that's what early game, like I said, the first run through, you shouldn't run into any of those problems whatsoever. But second, third, fourth, fifth run throughs, you're going to run into it a lot more often, and you're going to have to be more careful of that. Okay, I'm going to leave the hut building off for more. I see we have another hero. We'll collect him. This is going to give me a different type of hero that we can put over here. This guy here, he's going to sustain, so -5% people food, fed by each food unit. That's amazing. All right, that's really good. So I'm basically getting a 5% discount on my food. All right, that it's feeding more people per food, and it's also going to increase my granary is going to produce 6 food per second along with this 6. So once I build a granary, I'm going to gain plus 12 food per second, which is amazing. And now to recruit any kind of light unit is going to be 10% cheaper as well. So that's a bonus and a half. All right, so we're going to gain this. I'm just going to keep this up there. And all we're doing now is we are waiting. So now I do not have enough workers for the marketplace, and I might as well explain what the marketplace does. Okay. So marketplace, see, it's toggled on, but it's saying it needs a worker. There's a little symbol of a red hand. So I might as well just shut it off. It ain't helping to have it on. But when this marketplace is on, okay, so let's say I have huts being constructed. I'm pausing the game because I don't want any more huts constructed. I am producing 7 per click wood, but 3 automatic clicks of wood per second. Okay, meaning if my huts are off, those 3 woods are still being produced, but you just don't see them, you don't collect them, nothing. They're just going into limbo. All right, you never actually get them. Once you activate the marketplace, though, any of these unused resources, and it shows it right there. Gain 2% of unused resources as gold. So any number here, so +1 stone and +3 wood, if I'm not using either of those, well, what's going to happen? It's going to be converted into gold instead of going into limbo. All right. And so if I was using wood, well, the stone would still be going into gold, but the wood would be going into the what I'm trying to build with the wood, if you understand what I'm saying. So the more numbers you can have here with this marketplace active, the more gold you're going to be creating when you're not using a resource, or if you're using a specific resource. So if I was using stone, for instance, well, the wood would be going towards the marketplace instead, which is still good, right? So that's how the marketplace works. But in order to get another worker, we need 91 population, and I'm already having enough trouble now keeping this number afloat. So we're just waiting for this tech. In 40 some odd seconds it will be done. I mean, I could probably get it to 5. It's not that big. I could get it to the next worker just to show you guys. There, we got another worker. So we'll get that unlocked. And now we're gaining 0.08 gold per second, okay? Which is not a huge amount, but it's something. But we're losing 4.7 now. Okay, shoot. And I just went and gained some more population by accident. But it's minor. All right, this is almost done. I can't wait. This is going to increase my food cap by 300, I believe. Yep, plus 300. So now it gives me more room to play. All right. And not only did it do that, but now I can build the dry storage, which is going to give me another 4,500 storage, which is huge amounts of storage. And for this early game, that's a lot. And it's going to give me a lot of playroom, so I don't have to focus on this as much. I can get this to -10 now, and it wouldn't be that difficult to keep up on it anymore, right? So I'm going to build that. I'm going to use my wood, and I click that through to get my wood storage. Again, though, I do not have enough workers for that to actually be activated. I need 148 guys. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to build those guys right now. So we're going to build our population up to 148 plus, which is, of course, decreasing how much food I'm gaining. And another thing, this also produces a little bit of grain per second. It's not much, but it's something, okay? What was I at? -6 or something? And it's not that it is producing, it's that my heroes. Remember how I told you I was going to gain -12 per second once I gained the granary? Well, this is the granary. This is considered the granary. All right, and you'll upgrade this to the granary later. It's dry storage for now, but later on it'll be called the granary. And that's, again, I might have explained this wrong, but how this works is it's the granary now, okay? And when I upgrade it with better tech later, sorry, it's not the granary now, it is the dry storage now, okay? Later on, though, when I get better tech, it'll be upgraded to the granary. And this hero here will affect all of the same building type. So just because it's dry storage now, it still gets affected by this +6 a second. But until I had the worker in there, yes, I had it built, but I did not have a worker in there. That's why it did not take effect until the worker was there. Now I'm gaining food +4.3. It went from -7 or 8 or whatever I was at to +4.3 because I gained 12 per second. All right, from my 2 heroes, because I have 2 heroes there that are giving me +6 with my granary. Hopefully that didn't confuse you guys. Anyway, getting back to the game, this is going to now start to go up. My population will start building, okay? And what's going to happen is it'll build until this starts going to the negative again, automatically. But if I don't have enough free space now at this point, I think it will make vagabonds. We're going to try that and see if it does. I'm pretty sure it does. But you can see now, though, that I have 5,000 storage. So until I get to 5,000 storage, I'm not even going to make new population. So if I wanted to, I could just let this build up slowly, and I wouldn't have to worry about my population for a little while. And now we can click on this new path has been unlocked because I have 100 population. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click on the bow, which will unlock all 3 of these. Okay. And also, while I was here, I should explain this. In order to end the era, and I could do it right now if I wanted, you have to destroy a crisis. Okay, this crisis is always going to be basically max level for your area. All right, or era, I guess I should say. If you do not have the highest tech soldiers available to you before you go into this fight, you have a really good chance you're going to lose. All right, a very high chance that you're going to lose. It's going to take all of your tricks. And even if you don't lose, you're going to lose a lot of your population, which is going to give you a huge negative effect at the end of the game. If you lose too many people, like I said earlier, it's not good. So, and as you can tell, I do not have my highest tech because bows right here, bows is my highest tech soldier for this era. And until I get them, I am not going to fight this. You don't have to do it until you're ready for it, okay? Some people might want to try and jump through that without unlocking this. And later on, like I say, sometimes you cannot unlock this padlock and your tech for your best soldier might be hiding behind it, like this one was. And there's no way for you to unlock that unless you have a key and you already used up all your keys. So again, there's going to be pickles that you're going to, like dilemmas that you're going to have to try and figure out. How am I going to beat this without my best soldiers? There's ways to beat it. It's just going to take a lot of pre-planning. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do the bows. Get that done. It's going to take a few seconds because it has to do the other 2 techs in front of it. And I'm going to build up my food with clicking just to try and get it up there because I do want more population. I'd love to hit 500 population because at the end of the game, at the end of this era, you're going to get lotuses. Okay, so you're going to get lotuses based off of a bunch of different things. You get lotuses based off of population. You'll get lotuses based off of how many quests you've done. You'll get lotuses based off of technology levels, warehouse levels. So these warehouses, you get a level per upgraded building. So right now, these are all level 1 buildings. So I have 4 points in warehouses. And I'll get a lotus. I think the first one is at level 2. All right, so I'm getting 1 lotus automatically for those. Population, I think, is at 100. You get lotus. And at 500 is the next lotus. Okay, so I want to get to at least 500 so I can get an extra lotus. And those lotuses are your meta currency. And the in-between runs, the size of that is... Okay, so the size of the meta progression in this game... Whew, it's going to take you a lot of hours in order to do it, okay? So we don't have houses, and my free space was at 0, and I gained too many people there a second ago. I gained people. Now I have 43 vagabonds, okay? Vagabonds, I have a 1% chance of a crisis happening now because I have too many vagabonds. So if you get that number low enough, once you get to like 20-ish, that number should go away. You don't want to let that get much higher. You can get thousands of vagabonds if you're not careful, and that's bad. You don't want that ever to happen. Because that percentage will be like 50%, and that's stupid amounts of percentage. You don't want it that high because odds are you're going to have crises. So 36 vagabonds took it away completely. All right. And they will automatically go down slowly. You can see they're going down as you have free space for them to move into. They'll just automatically start taking up the free space. Okay. I have another worker now. Okay. So now everything is filled. I could use this worker and go claim a piece of land, all right? And I think I'm going to do that just so you guys can see this. So we're going to go here, we're going to claim this. It's going to suck up my available worker. And it's a 6% chance that a crisis is going to happen now because I'm going to claim land, all right? I have 160 free space. I don't like that, so we're going to go ahead and try and get some more people. I think this will give me 100 population now every time I gain population. Let's see, one hit 6,000. Yeah, 105 guys, okay? We'll let the huts just build themselves. And that brought that down 1% because one of the percentage risk here was because of the free space. All right. So you want to watch out for everything adds up. So if it's 1% for this, if it's 1% for that, if it's 5% for doing this, if it's 2%, it's all going to add up to one big number there. So you want to be careful. So we gained a tile, and this tile gives me +1 food per click now. All right. It's a hill tile, and hill tiles will give you other resources as you unlock tech. You will be able to develop this land. You'll be able to put a quarry on it. You'll be able to put a mine on it. Depending on which one you choose, will destroy the opposite. So if you want a quarry on it and you had a mine there, it'll destroy the mine and put a quarry there. You can only have one development per tile, okay? But you can control this entire map in like a lot of playthroughs from now. Right away, it's not going to be important. You're not even going to hardly do that much this run through, but later on you will. So you want to be aware of that, okay? Once I get another worker, and I did, we're going to go ahead and we're going to claim another piece of land. This one here is going to give us wood. It's a forest, okay? So we'll let that run through. And we want to make sure we have enough huts so that if I gain... Oh, we're going in the negative now with the food, so we are okay there. I'm going to get to 500 pop as quickly as I can because we're just about done this little playthrough. I basically showed you everything that I could show you, but I still need this bow tech in order for it to work. Okay, we have 6 free space, so we better make sure we have at least 100 free space before we upgrade our population some more, or else it'll go into vagabonds again, and I don't want any more there. Okay, so my clicker heat, you'll notice it's starting to get red around the edge there, and it's going to continue to get redder and redder, meaning my clicker heat is going up. I'll keep... Okay, claim land quest is complete. Okay, there we go. We're going to go there. We have wood. That's going to give us +2 wood, not per click, but per second. That's auto click, okay? So that's a good bonus. Then you could click on this, and I could do this because I already have the tech already done. I could turn this into farmland, okay? I could irrigate this. And when you do, you're going to gain 10 food per second, which would help me out right now because right now I'm going into the negatives, if you understand what I'm saying. When you do this, though, you have a 35% chance of risk of disease while this 1 minute and 40 seconds is happening, all right? I'm going to do it to show you guys how important it is to do this, because you're going to need to do this on a bigger map. When you need more land, you're going to need to turn some into farmland. In order to get rid of this negative 8.47, you want that positive sometimes, so you don't have to focus on clicking your button. Because right now I have to click to keep it up. It's going down so fast. It means my clicker heat is not going down fast enough if you're not careful. It is. I'm not worrying about it. But I'm just saying, if that number is too high, like if, let's say that was -30, I'd be in trouble right now. I would be. I really would be. So you want to be careful for that. You want to make sure that number doesn't get too low. And it's easy to control once you figure out the dynamics of the game and the mechanics, all right? So my bows are almost done. Once my land is developed, I already hit my 500 population. Okay, so I am at my target, which is all I needed to do. So my bows, I'm going to click on that. My men, my spearmen now turned into bows. Okay, now they do way more damage. Instead of 2 to 4, they do 3 to 5. And it doesn't sound like much, but that's a lot. Okay, that's quite a bit more damage. And we are good to go. We can now make hill forts as well, so we're going to go ahead and make those. And all hill forts are another type of unit that you can build here. And hill forts, when your little ticker is going down your bar in a crisis and it gets to the first picture, if you have used a hill fort, or if you've used more than one hill fort, they give you a percentage chance to block the negative effect completely. So let's say you were going to lose 100 people, you was going to kill off 100 of your population if it reached the first picture. If you used 3 hill forts and they were all 25% chance of blocking, you would have a 75% chance of blocking that negative effect completely. It's a 30% chance, okay, per hill fort. And I can have, I think, 2 at the once you get your barracks built. You can build 2 of these, all right? So I'm going to build both of them because this is just in case I get into trouble. I have it. I don't think I'm going to have to use it. As a matter of fact, I'm 90% sure I'm not going to have to do it, but I'm still doing it. Now, my farmland has been built, okay? And I get plus 10 auto click food per second, meaning now this is a positive number. Now I don't have to worry about this anymore. It's really slowly going up. No issues whatsoever. I have a free worker to boot. So we're going to go ahead here and click on our tech, because we're basically, there's nothing else we can do at this point. We can end this by finishing this crisis and researching the last tech beat that's locked behind it. So we're going to click on this. It's going to pause the game, okay? Or I'm going to pause the game. And this is the final battle, basically, okay? Like I say, it's always going to be the highest level that you can possibly get for a crisis of that era, which is 7. And there's a lot more pictures than the last time. This one has a ton of pictures. And if I let it get to the first one, it's going to destroy 99 of my houses. All right. That, my friends, is not good. All right. You do not want that to happen. Meaning you'll have a shit ton of vagabonds kicking around. And if you let it get to the next one, it'll damage a workshop, meaning you can't use that workshop till it's repaired. All right. You let it get to the next one, it'll kill 50% of the vagabonds that this one probably created. You understand what I mean? So you want to be very, very, very careful of this, okay? Because each house is 7 spaces. So if I destroyed that, that's a lot of houses getting, or a lot of spaces destroyed. That might even take care of all of my houses. All my population would be vagabonds. If that makes sense to you, all right? So that's how this works. This number might not reflect how many houses you actually have built, because I don't have 300, 400, 500 houses. I don't have that many houses. I only have 40 houses maybe, or you know what I mean? It's whatever, 565, those are all spaces, plus 162, so that's 727 spaces. You divide that number by 7, because each hut is 7 spaces, and that is how many houses you have. There's no actual number. I don't know where to look for that. I don't think it's here. So, but that is how you would be able to figure that out. All right. And so if I was to lose 99 houses, I can promise you all my population is going to be vagabonds, which is not good. And if I let it get to here, 50% of those would die instantly. So you want to make sure you end this as quickly as you can. Now, one bow is going to take up a very little chunk of this bar, as you can tell. Meaning 2 archers here is only going to get me to a quarter of the way. I am screwed, aren't I? But I'm not, and I'm going to tell you why. So you have these as well, the militia, which is a super tiny chunk. So I might be able to get to right here if I used all of my archers and my men. And then I could start making archers right away while the time is ticking down slowly. I could use my barricades to potentially get a 60% chance to knock off destroy the 99 houses, which would be amazing if it worked. I could stun. I think that's what this is. Oh no, I even have the stun? I do not. Okay, so I don't have a hero with the ability to stun this, and what that would do is it would stop this from moving for 11 seconds. I know that doesn't sound like much, but that can save your ass sometimes. So that will help you out immensely. Why I'm not concerned is this. So with the barracks, again, when you get this, you get free wood. When you get this, you get free food if you click on this, and you have 3 charges. When you get this, you get free gold if you click on this. Well, the barracks has a really, 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 really cool power. And what happens is when I click this button, the next unit that I use after clicking it will gain 120% damage. And if I click the wall, it would gain 120% block chance. So meaning I would get 60 or 70% block chance on my walls, and I'm going to double the amount of damage I do with my archers. Meaning my 2 archers now will be able to probably get me to the N. My 2 soldiers after that will probably be able to get me to here. All right. By that point, I will easily have another archer up. I will use my last one of these, and I should be able to finish it. And if not, I will block as best of my ability. Am I going to lose something? I hope not. And you might want to pause in between if you're doing this for the first time, because it is a little hectic when you see this thing going down. You might get nervous. I'm not going to, because I've done this enough times. It's not going to be as scary for me. And you can use hotkeys. So in order to use this, instead of clicking here, going over here, clicking this, going back here, clicking this, I mean, it's only a split second, but you can use hotkeys. I can use a numpad 8, which will trigger this, and then I can have my mouse over here and I can do this. Trigger, bam, trigger, bam. Like, look at that. And I'm going to pause the game to show you. So my 2 archers took me to here because they maxed their hits. All right, they had max hits, because the white spot is the minimum, but you'll see that there's a lighter white spot. That is the maximum hit. And so I got 2 max hits, which brought me to here instead of to where the N was on the Neolithic there. All right. So now this and both these are going to guaranteed finish. Done. Finish, just like that. Now, had I not had this skill here, though, I would not have destroyed that so easily. All right. And if I would not have had archers, we would have lost. All right. Those archers doubled my damage to boot. So had I not had the archers there, that would have been a scrap. Probably winnable, but I would have lost a ton of people. And that's scary shit. All right. So you want to be careful for that. All right. I'm going to get my free space up here because I noticed that I got to get rid of these huts being built. There. Get rid of the huts. And I'm just going to get this to a point where I can explain things to you guys, because I don't want any percentage chance, because I had a 1% chance of a problem. I can get archers being built, I suppose, while I'm talking to you. We gained a new hero. We have 2 new heroes here. We'll collect both of them and see if we got somebody new. We did. We got a round circular guy here, which will go into the middle. Okay. And this guy's going to give me plus 35% resources per click of any type. See, it shows a picture of all 3 resource types. Plus 1 stone per click when we click on stone. And it'll give me plus 1.45 wood per second with a windmill, with a sawmill, and plus 7.25 food per second. Okay, if I have the granary unlocked, if I have the lumber mill unlocked, okay, and I do, and if I have the quarry unlocked. I do not have any of those. I have the lumber mill and the granary, but I do not have the quarry unlocked yet. Okay, and then I have a new skill here called auto clickability. So I don't think I explained the turtle shells yet, so I should. So the turtle shells here, that's what I call them, because that's what they look like to me. It's autonomy, autonomy, all right? And this is going to control all of the auto-clicking abilities and auto things that you want to do in this game. You'll gain very little at the start of the game, your first run through, all right? But as you get better tech and better things, and you'll be able to unlock certain things, your heroes might even give you more of this as well. You will gain this quicker. And then you can use this as a currency to auto build, auto make soldiers, auto research for you, auto everything you can get. But everything that you click off is going to drain this quicker. All right. Right now, my hero there for 0.8 clicks per second, meaning I will gain whatever of these 0.8 clicks per second that I don't even have to control, but it's going to drain this down by, what was it, 0.54 of these a second. I'm only gaining 0.43, so I'll be -5 every second, meaning my 40 will drain in a few seconds. Then it will no longer work anymore, right? So that's why you need to build this up before using these. And to be honest, I'm never going to use this, because if I use this, it's going to increase my clicker heat, and then I won't be able to control it without watching it like a hawk, and I don't want to do that. And this is not important. If I need to click, I hold the A or S button down and click for myself. It's not that big a deal. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just wanted to explain this because there is going to be auto building, there is going to be auto researching, and trust me when I say you're going to use those. All right, those are handy, like super handy stuff. Once I get them unlocked, I will be using them pretty much immediately. Okay, so we're going to go select our research because there's only one thing left to research. Ascension, and this is based off of the end of the era points, 925. It's going to take me 13 seconds. Like, it does not take long at all to do this part. All right, so we're just going to let that go, and then I'll be able to explain to you how the lotuses work, which is the like in between game meta currency that you'll be using. Okay, we're going to click on that, and now it says we can ascend whenever we want at this point. At this point, there is nothing else we can do here. You can't get any further until you unlock it in the meta progression. In between games, you will be able to unlock more and more and more and more eras. And I'm going to show you here in a minute how huge it is. I'm telling you, there's weeks involved in this game if you really want to finish it right to the end. If you want 100% this game, it's going to take you weeks of literal time. All right. It's crazy huge, and there's a ton to it. And it is amazing. So right now, if I hover over this, it's showing you that I'm going to gain one Lotus for the population that I currently have. Okay, I'm going to gain one population for the amount of technologies that I've researched, which is 13. In order to gain another one, I would have to get to 26 technologies, meaning I have to have the whole next era unlocked, and there's 13 more technologies there that I'll be able to research. Okay, and I can always also get another Lotus at 1,000 population, which I may do. All right, I might actually do that because it would be nice to have one extra Lotus, and I'll tell you why when I show you that in a moment. I get one Lotus for 4 levels of workshops, and I have 4 workshops, meaning they're all level 1, meaning I have 4 levels of workshops. The next Lotus would be at 9, meaning I would need to upgrade the current workshops, which is not available until I get better tech, or unlock new workshops at level 1 up to 9, and that would still be equal to 9, right? You understand what I mean? I don't get any Lotuses for Autonomy 87. I need 500 minimum to get one there. I never did 4 quests. All right, sorry, I did 4 quests. At 10 quests, I would get a Lotus. All right. Crisises, I only did 2 total this run. At 5, I would have gained another Lotus, which is another easy way to get them. Gold, at 1,000 gold, you would gain a Lotus, but that takes forever because you're not gaining it very quick, all right? And then the deaths, that's the one I wanted to explain. So I had 1 death. I only lost 1 dude, and it sucks. It's just because I wasn't paying attention. But there are times when you might lose a lot of men. And for the first 1,000, you're going to gain a Lotus, but it's not a regular Lotus. It is a black Lotus. And for each black Lotus that you gain, you're going to lose a white Lotus. So you want to be careful of that because white lotuses are your meta. Each one is worth a ton in this game because you're going to need thousands of those white lotuses, thousands and thousands of them to unlock everything. And as you can tell, I'm not getting a crap ton of them. 3. That's what I'm going to get right now. That's not much, right? And that for that run through, and each run through is going to get longer and longer and harder. But you will gain more lotuses. All right, don't fret. Probably within the first 5 run throughs, I'll be gaining 30-ish per run through. All right, it doesn't take long to increase that number, but you're never going to gain hundreds of them, like not for a long time. So to get thousands of these things, it's going to take you a lot of time. All right. Be aware of that. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we have a vagabond because we don't have enough free space. Oh, so we might as well take care of that problem. And yeah, so we're just going to go ahead. I would like to have one more Lotus. So I think the easiest way to do that would be we could get the population to 1,000, which shouldn't take me long at all. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking to you, let's just time this and see how long it takes me. So I'm clicking the button to build the huts quicker because we need more free space. All right. And once I get to a couple hundred, I'm going to click on this button, which is going to give me 1,800 food. Bam. All right. Took all my free space away, but it gained me the people immediately because it gained enough to max this out, giving me my next amount of people. And I'm already at 979. So we're going to go ahead and do that one more time. We'll get up to about 200 plus houses. And we're going to hit that gain free grub. Boom. We're over 5,000 or over 1,000 pop. And that's going to give me an extra Lotus. And I'm going to finish it there because now I'm going -10. And it's going to take me more work to control my my wheat, and I don't want to have to do that. And all I needed was 4 at the start for my first run, all right? And I'm going to show you that now. So we're going to ascend and reset the map. You get to keep all of your heroes, so you have nothing to worry about there, okay? Um, and this you can speed through by just clicking the button. It's just going to show you how many you're going to gain and what would be the next level. So again, autonomy, if I got to 500, it would give me an extra lotus, all right? And at 5,000 population, I could get another one there, and etc, etc, okay? So I'm just going to click through this, and then it gives you the breakdown here that I gained 4 lotuses, gold lotuses, and 0 because of the black lotuses, which is the death ones. We'll click on OK, and this, my friends, is how crazy this game is for the meta progression. So, for 4 lotuses, that's what I have right now, I can unlock the next era of tech, which I'm going to do, because without it, you are not going to get much further. You'll only gain 4 lotuses a run, maybe 5, 6 lotuses each run, until you can get further into the game. So I'm going to cause that by unlocking the new era of tech. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Bam. Now that's going to allow me to unlock the next era of tech, but that cost me 4 more lotuses, which I cannot afford. And trust me, you do not want to go too far up this ladder too quickly, because without this extra stuff on the left and the right here, okay, all these tech trees that you see over here, if you don't unlock all of this stuff, this next era is going to kick your ass, all right? And you want to be careful for that. So, and I mean, the second one wouldn't really hurt you that bad, but it's going to be way more difficult, but it's doable. But if you unlock the next one and went right to that immediately, that one would destroy you really fast. Okay, so you want to don't go too far up this tech tree without going too far on the sides first. Why? Is because, well, you're going to unlock wood per click, food per click, auto wood clicking, extra housing or cheaping housing. This unlocks auto construction, all right? That's handy stuff to help you balance your game easily without having to micromanage everything, because there's going to be so much stuff later on that if you're not on top of it, you're going to lose, all right? It's that simple. There's more damage that you're going to be able to do, auto combat abilities. You'll be able to use forts, auto growth for your population, auto research ability. That's probably one of my favorite things. I'm going to shoot for that almost immediately. That's going to be, I go down this way and I get to that first, because auto research kicks butt. This way here, you're going to also need, because you're going to want these keys. Now, I was telling you guys about the keys that you get. This one gives you a free key right at the start. And I'm telling you, they're worth gold, man. These things are really good to have. You're going to want this extra key. Then once you go this way, you'll be able to unlock like more different things, like research generation 2 by second. So you'll gain 2 research every second for free forever just by unlocking this. So it's huge, right? And I'm just showing you a little tiny bit of this tree. And there's a little bit of a bug to try and scroll upwards, so you have to go slow or else it just doesn't work. And I don't know why that happens, but look at how big this is. All right, I can't even keep going up. It won't let me go up. That bug is, I think it just stops you because you can't really see that far until you get there anyway. But look how friggin' huge, unless you can move this with the AWSD. I don't think you can. So look, I can't even go back down. Oh yes, I can. All right. Like I say, there's a bug there somewhere. I'm not sure if the devs know about it yet or not. But this game is updated like weekly or every 2 weeks or something. They work on this game a ton. All right. When I actually did my playthrough, I don't know, 6 months ago, I only got it was only up to this area that was unlocked. You couldn't even get beyond this. But this is a endless wave right here. If you do this, this is an endless wave, and it is friggin' fun, man. Like, to see how far you can get, and I'm telling you, super fun. All right, and then once you've done it once, it allows you to get beyond it now, and then you can keep playing. And I'm telling you, you buy this game, it's worth every penny. I can't even explain how fun this game is until you try it. But anyway, I'm going to start the next civilization in this episode, but I'm not going to play it in this episode, okay? I have 2 more lotuses, And the reason why I wanted 4 total is because I wanted to unlock the era and I wanted to unlock this. This right here is the Stonehenge blueprint. It allows me to construct a wonder, all right? And these wonders, this specific wonder, is going to do you wonders, all right? It's going to help you out like you would not believe. And I will explain that in the next run through how it's going to work, okay? We're going to go ahead and start the next civilization, though I'm not going to play it in this episode. I'm going to show you how to set it up because it's very cool. You don't get to do this the first run through because you just start wherever they place you, and it's always the same place, always the same map. But like I said earlier, you can recreate this map. If you don't like what you see here, oh, I don't like this setup, all right, then you just click on recreate map, and for free it recreates me a new map. And you can do it over and over and over until you like what you see, all right? You can click wherever you want your starting village to be, all right? And this is important. If you need more farmland, well, you're going to turn trees and forested areas into farmland. You're not going to turn mountains into it. So why be stuck like up here where you're surrounded by mountains, where you have to expand further to get farmland? That's not a good starting location. But you may have a different strategy than me. You might need stone right away or something, and well, this would be a better starting location for you. But for my strategy, I always go for farms, and I need farmland. And in order to do that, you're going to need forests, okay? So I'm going to pick this location. I have my reasons for that, and I will explain that in another episode. There's a really big tip that you're going to want to know, and I'm not telling you here. You guys will have to watch more episodes if you want to know about that tip, and it will be amazing. It will help you like you wouldn't believe, okay? Also, before I start, obviously, I'm going to show you that here you have a circle and here you have a circle. They're both blanks. And what these are positive outcomes that can help you throughout your entire next run, and negative outcomes that will hurt you throughout your entire next run. And you get one free of each. Well, obviously, I'm not going to go ahead and fill a negative outcome. Why would I do that? I don't want anything negative happening to me. But I'm going to choose a positive, and there's free trader, allowing you to trade wood, metal, and stone right away as soon as you start the game, which is not important at all for my method of playing. Some people might play this game using gold, though. There are different ways to play. And if you are that person, you're going to want this immediately. I use food. That's the way I play this game. So I want the farmer, which is going to farmland tiles grant twice as much food. So instead of 10 wheat a second when I changed that wooded area into farmland earlier, it's going to generate 20 wheat per tick. All right, huge help. All right, so I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it there. And now, though, you'll notice that I have 2 more positive traits that I could use if I wanted. The lumberjack one gives you twice as much wood per wood tile that you own, forest tile. And I can unlock that right now. But in order to do that, you will need to use a negative. So if I was to put this here, it unlocks a new positive one. That's why at the start of the game, no, I'm not going to just use a negative and no positives. But if you do use a negative one there, it allows you to use 2 positives. And this one here is not horrible. All it does is it slows down your research by 40%, which is pretty big, but it's not foolish. If you want to play around with the first era a little bit anyway and it's going to take you longer, well, it's just going to take you longer to do your research. That's all. That's the only negative effect you're going to have, which is not the end of the world, all right? And you're going to, as you unlock new techs and new meta progression, you are going to unlock more and more negatives and more positives that you will be able to use up to, I think you can have 6 positives active at one time. And obviously you're not going to want 6 negatives, but I think it would require you to have 5 negatives in order to have 6 positives, if you understand what I mean, all right? And that's how that works. So obviously I want a farmland one, but I'm not going to take any negatives because I don't need either of these 2. That's not my playstyle. I never use them. So there's no point in wasting a negative when I don't have to, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. And this right here, the Civilization of Radiance, +1 secret reward from selected technology, 1 per arrow. So right off the bat, I am going to get a free key to use however I see fit, okay? And that's a good bonus to have right at the start, okay? And we're going to allow that to happen for sure. And we're just going to go ahead and click the confirm start button, and it's going to start me right here. Everything is going to be fog of war except for the immediate surrounding my location, the immediate areas surrounding my location. But now that I know what the map looks like, I know where I want to go. The only thing I do not know is where all the random villagers are going to be, where the random enemies are going to be. There are AI players that will be on this map somewhere that you can destroy, that will fight against you, that will try and wheel and deal with you, etc. So you are allowed to do that as well, okay? But I wouldn't suggest that for the first 2, 3, 4 run-throughs, okay? Make sure you know what you're doing before you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm my start. I'm going to pause the game because I don't want anything happening, but nothing is happening until I get going. But once you get some meta unlocked, you're going to start this and you're going to have wheat getting produced immediately. You're going to have huts. You're going to have your stuff being auto-researched. Like I said, auto-research. It's going to advance you and you don't have to do anything. You can just stand here and watch and your whole first area will be done in a couple minutes. That's how fast it will be. And it'll blow your minds how quick the game gets. But later on in the game, it's going to take so long that you're going to want it to be fast at the start. All right. And anyway, but it'll auto take care of itself until you get to the further places where it's going to require more of your attention to stay more on top of the game. All right, and that's how the game is balanced out. And it is super fun. I hope you guys liked it, guys. If you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button down below, it'll help my channel to grow. And I'll be able to show you more episodes just like this one. Definitely one of my favorite clicker games, if not my favorite clicker game of all time. You try it out. It's in Steam right now. I don't know how much it costs. I never went and looked at that, but you can do a search and do that for yourself. And hopefully we'll see you in the next episode, guys. Take care.